Today we're going to be looking at how Chaos Rising has assisted Zoroark in evolving yet again. We're going to be looking at my card choices and my deck lists. So catch you guys very soon. Hey, what is up guys? This is Platinum Point and I'm back again for another Pokemon deck profile. I know it's been a week since I last posted. I decided to take a quick short break just to give myself some time to recover. It's just been really crazy this past week and I didn't have the energy to do some videos, so I wanted to take that week off, but I'm back. So I want to do a deck profile and update on my Zoroark, because this is one deck that I've been kind of experimenting since the North American International Championship, because Chaos Rising actually gave this deck another tool that I completely overlooked. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I did completely overlook this, but I have to give credit to Tord Reklev and Liam Halliburton for kind of reminding me about this card's existence and its emergence in Chaos Rising, and I decided to test it out, and it's actually a really good card. And the card that I'm talking about is Transformation Tome. So because of that, it actually forced me to revisit the way I played the deck and kind of reconfigure the list to fit with to accommodate with the new strategies that arise with this item. So I'm going to showcase this list, but before we do, make sure you like this video, subscribe, hit the notification button. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers soon and hopefully become partners so I can do more videos like this. I want to thank you guys for those who watched my previous videos and subscribed. I really appreciate it. It really helps. And like this is something I always like to share with people. Pokemon is a passion that has helped me through many things, and it's a great mental health, great source of mental health. And sometimes even then you might need to take a break from the hobby and take a break, and that's what I needed to do. And I always tell people, don't be afraid to take a break. So hope you guys didn't mind me taking a break. If you guys have to take a break from whatever you do, I encourage it. So before we get onto this deck list, I want to preface one thing. I am going to be dabbling in One Piece videos again shortly. I am putting together some deck lists from post OP16. I took a short break only because Pokemon has just been really fun for me, and that's been taking a lot of my time in terms of not only as a vendor. If you guys haven't noticed, if you guys don't know, I vend. Check out my social media. I have the Instagram and the links below. Check them out. I do Whatnot. If you haven't, if you don't know, I'll put the link in the Whatnot to my Whatnot in the description below. I do buy and I sell Pokemon cards over there. So if you guys are interested in hanging out with me and even buying some cards, check it out. Anyway, back to the main topic. So I decided to look at showcase the reason why I did all these different videos is because I want to showcase what I've been playing around with. But that doesn't mean I haven't stopped playing certain decks. I actually been playing. I have, as I mentioned in I think last year. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. I do a playtest rotation. So this allows me to kind of develop new ideas, but also take breaks in between from different decks in order for me to kind of just let my mind take a break from trying to figure out the deck. And it helps me when I go back to revisiting it, have a fresher set of eyes. And during that time that I took a break from Zoroark, the two geniuses, Tord Reklev and Liam Halliburton, innovated the deck and showed me an item card that I completely overlooked that was released in Chaos Rising, and that is Transformation Tome. So I decided to revisit not even revisit, introduce that into my deck, which forced me to kind of reconfigure it and change the way I play the deck. And this is the list that I have so far. Let's get on to the deck profile, shall we? So my list is different from Tord Reklev's, in which I'm only playing 18 Pokemon. The reason for that is I don't happen to have a copy of a specific Pokemon, and I realized in order to compensate that, all I had to do was increase the number of supporters by one more card, and it pretty much made up the difference in terms of consistency. But I am exploring the composition of my supporters because of that. So we're gonna go over the Pokemon. So we're still playing 4 Zorua, 4 Zoroark, pretty standard. We're playing 2 N Zekrom, also pretty standard. But now, thanks to Transformation Tome, I've decided to bring back the Ns Darumaka and Ns Darmanitan. And in testing, it's actually been helpful because the Tome allows me to turn this brick into an actual playable card in very it makes this brick a lot more flexible to play. Because I can just discard both copies, or even discard the Darumaka and then Transformation Tome, bring it back onto the bench, and then just evolve straight away, because so long as that Pokemon has been on the board, the previous Pokemon has been on the board the previous a turn prior, even if I swap it in with the Ns Darumaka, I can evolve it right away, which is really nice. So it allows me to have a flexible way of threatening early game and actually easily setting up the Darmanitan attack line. Continuing on with the Pokemon, we still play 1 Pheasantipity, 1 Meowth, and then 1 Pecharunt. And then for the rest of our one-ofs, we play 1 Yveltal, 1 Badoo, and 1 Munkidori. So the thing about Transformation Tome I want to preface is Transformation Tome is actually a really good boon, because one of the weaknesses of N Zoroark is that we have to play Pokemon like Pecharunt, Meowth, and Pheasantipity in order to equalize our either to advance or equalize the game state for us. But the problem is these Pokemon are liability for 1, being low HP, and 2, having there's common answers to them where you can just one hit KO them. But what Transformation Tome does for us is that once we play these Pokemon, we can literally take out the liability and put in a 1 prizer in the form of either a Zekrom, a Zorua, a Darumaka, the Yveltal, or even a Munkidori, so that way we can maintain advantage, as well as deny them an easy 2 prize knockout, which is really helpful. So that's it. And I still am running Yveltal because trapping is such an important card. Just an important mechanic. I've won games where I just trapped my opponent's key Pokemon in the active and just whittled it down and then just knocked it out, and then put my opponent in a very awkward position. Same with Badoo. I agree with Tord. Like, having it's a valuable item lock, and it's a free retreat Pokemon. So like having a free retreater that doesn't require any investment is just valuable. He played Tatsugiri, but I decided I didn't have it anymore. I sold my IR one from a while back, and I decided, you know what, and I also found in testing Tatsugiri very situational, especially now that we have Meowth, which just instantly grabs the supporter that we needed. So I felt like if we cut down the Tatsugiri and just up the number of supporters, we can at least increase the likelihood of drawing the supporters that we do need, and then use Meowth to fetch the supporters that are in niche numbers, like 1 or 2 ofs in the deck. And in this case, just 1 ofs. So it helps us get our 1 ofs that we need, and then you could tutor it out with Transformation Tome. So I felt like that was the game plan, and it's so far with the ratio, it's been working nice. I'll put the deck list in the description below when I'm done. It'll be in the description, and you'll be able to test out the list. So we're gonna go on with the supporter lineup, or the trainer lineup. So we play 4 Lily's Determination, pretty standard. I'm actually upping the copy of Cyrano's to 3, and the reason why is since I'm decided to cut down the number of Ultra Balls in this current iteration, because I want to increase the likelihood of getting my early game board setups. I wanted to make it easier for me to set up my early board, because one of the issues with Zoroark is being able to have that early board set up quickly, like laid out, so that when all you got to do is Serrano out into your Zoroarks is very important. And I realized, even though Ultra Balls can do the same thing, it required me to discard 2 cards that are potentially important for me, especially with Transformation Tome now, I don't want to discard those transformation tomes unless I absolutely need to. And in most cases, you want to save those transformation tomes in order to pivot your 2 prizers out for vital, like, single prize attackers, such as the Darumaka, so you can cheat into Darmanitan without having to worry about playing the Darumaka fresh from hand. So I decided to play more supporters, and one of the supporters that I considered bumping up, since I'm cutting down the number of Ultra Balls, is 3 Serranos. So I'm going to be testing that number. If I find that I don't need the 3rd Serrano, I am going to cut it for other things. There are other supporters that I feel like this deck would benefit from, but right now I'm just testing 3. I like consistency, that's why. Next, I play 3 Boss's Orders, pretty standard. I play 1 copy of Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking, and that's because now that we're playing 4 copies of Transformation Tome, and Transformation Tome requires 2 copies to be played in order to resolve the effect. This allows you to cheat into it really easily, especially if you're trying to go for like pivots out of your the 2 prize basics into either any kind of either a key attacker or to revive one of your basic, like your Zoras. This helps you kind of get into that very easily, because if you already have 1 Zoroark, you essentially just get 2 cards back to the 2 cards that you want into your hand right away. So I decided to play that, and it's been testing nicely. And then lastly, 1 Black Belt Training. And then continue on with the items. We play 4 Buddy Buddy Poffin, 4 Pokepad. I decided to play 4 because I need to set up my bench early. And there are some cases where I don't open like multiple Buddy Buddy Poffins. I'll open 1 Buddy Buddy Poffin, and then in order for me to get like my full bench out, at least you need at least 2 Zoras, maybe your Yveltal if you're gonna trap, the Badoo, or even the Monkey Dory setup, just so you can have your early game setup just knocked out. I wanted that solved. So like in testing, I realized that even though Ultra Ball can do the same thing, again, as I mentioned, I had to discard 2 cards that I potentially needed, and I'd rather just use a 1 card to search for, like, set up my bench easy. And Pokepad just ended up being the card that I bumped up, and I actually bumped down the Ultra Balls. And the reason I bumped down the Ultra Balls because essentially Transformation Tome, which I play 4 of, becomes like another resource, another searcher, because all you would have to do is essentially discard the utility Pokemon, whether it be in some cases that what I would fetch with the tome is either the Monkey Dory. I would say this fetch I'd bring the Petron back if I needed it, the Fez, the Darmanitan, Darumaka, which gets into Darmanitan, a Zekrom, or even another Zorua, by just simply discarding 1 copy off of the trade, or even off of the 1 Ultra Ball. Or even if they knocked it out, it allowed me to revive it and seamlessly set up my board. Because the benefit of Transformation Tome is, for example, if your basic Pokemon evolves into a stage 1 EX, if the basic Pokemon that you're switching out for the smaller basic happens to be in there for more than 1 turn, all you would have to do is Transformation Tome, get the Zora that was in the discard pile back onto the board, and you can immediately evolve into the Zoroark. Same thing with the like I've seen Tor do the play with Darumaka, where you discard the Darumaka early, you wait for whenever you need the Darmanitan, and then if you have the Transformation Tomes, you Transformation Tome the Meowth away, go into Darumaka, evolve into Darmanitan right away. Especially if you played the Meowth the previous turn. Or even if you Fezzed, you can go right into a Darumaka like really easily. So Transformation Tome gives this deck an ability to pivot the 2 prizer into whatever other Pokemon that you need at that time. It could be either, let's say you wanted to pivot the Fez into a Petron, or even vice versa. You can pivot any of your basic Pokemon into the Fez that you had discarded, and then that allows you to save your Night Stretchers for other plays. So that's one of the things I like about Transformation Tome, is it makes your discard pile an extra resource, that this deck tends to ignore after you discard the card. So it allows you to basically turn your discard pile into a secondary deck that you can access, and I really like that. And I know I've seen some lists play 3, and I think that's just kind of stupid. You play 4. Next we play 3 ends PP up, 2 Night Stretcher, sorry, 1 Ultra Ball, 1 special red card. In my testing right now, I'm playing Unfair Stamp. I've tested Secret Box, and that's fine too. But right now, I just needed an extra form of hand disruption, and Unfair Stamp is fine. I still think it's a cope a spec, but you need hand disruption, and even if it is a cope card, there are some situations it works. It's not always a cope, and I'm not someone who thinks like even if it's a bad card in some cases, doesn't mean you discount it. So yeah, I'm playing the cope card, and then 1 Finding Mochi, and then 2 ends Castle, and then we're only playing 7 Darkness Energy. We're really tight on resources, hence why I'm only playing 7 Darkness Energy. But overall, I really like this list. I am going to be testing the ratios a little bit more. Like, and this list is going to always be evolving for me, and maybe in a couple weeks later, when I do a video about this deck later, when Pitch Black comes into play, you may see this deck evolve even more. That's one thing I stress with everybody. Don't be surprised if this list constantly pivots, because that's just the nature of Pokemon. You adjust to what the meta is, and for me, the meta is constantly shifting. But I really like this list. I really like it. I really like Zoroark. And for those who want to know how to play this deck, I will tell you right now, the best way to learn how to play this deck is to pick it up and try it out. But don't be surprised if you get your butt kicked a lot, because it is a hard deck to play. But it's a rewarding deck once you learn how to play the deck. And trust me, every time you edit the deck, it feels like you're resetting yourself, because now you have to consider different choices, decisions. But again, it's a good learning experience, and it's a deck that I really enjoy. It's my baby. So I hope you guys like this video. I will be doing another deck profile in the near future. I'm going to be revisiting my Mega Greninja deck, as I've been tweaking around with it in the past few weeks. But the next Pokemon deck profile you'll probably see from me is a Team Rocket one, because there's some interesting stuff that you can do with that deck, and I've been kind of looking at it. I've been studying that deck, and there's some interesting stuff that you can do, honestly. I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Also crack that like button, and I'll catch you guys later. This is Platinum Point. Don't forget to stay on point, guys, and peace out, YouTube.